Raila Amolo Odinga, the ODM party leader, returned back quietly into the country yesterday. Raila Odinga was accompanied, according to social media posts, by Eddie Mwok, the Migori senator, and the Narok senator, Ledama Olekina. And the return of Raila Amolo Odinga has actually triggered unanswered questions about the trip. In this video, I want us to try and look at some of the few unanswered questions and what Raila Odinga actually needs to do moving forward. Because for those who follow the politics of this country, Raila Amolo Odinga left the country at the peak of Jamhuri Day celebration. And Raila Odinga had promised his supporters that he was going to hold parallel Jamhuri Day celebrations. His supporters were ready. And just a few days, I think a day to the event, they announced that the event will not take place because Raila Odinga had been invited to the United States of America by Joe Biden. But from Raila Odinga's Facebook page, if you go there, even Twitter, from the day he left the country up to the time he returned, Raila Odinga never updated anything about that particular trip. And there were several speculations. I remember there were people who claimed that Raila Odinga actually stormed out in one of the meetings because he was being, a lot of pressure was being piled on him to support the government, and he refused. There are several other theories. And I remember Ndindi Nyoro asking Raila Odinga to produce photos of his meeting with Biden. But several questions are being asked. The first question is, what was the real objective of Raila Odinga's visit to the United States of America? What was the real objective? Was the meeting a strategy by American government to persuade Raila Amolo Odinga to suspend the parallel Jamhuri Day celebration which he had organized for his supporters? Because remember, William Ruto is actually a project of the United States of America. And they'll do everything within their powers to ensure that he succeeds. The only challenge William Ruto is facing is Raila Amolo Odinga. And you remember the kind of pressure Raila had placed on Kenya Kwanza government to an extent that they even offered free scholarships to those who are going to attend that event. So last minute, Raila Odinga said, okay, we are not coming. So was it a strategy which was used on him to suspend the celebrations? Then once he landed in American land, nobody cared about him. So that is the first question. And the other question is, was Raila Odinga under pressure from other forces to cancel the celebrations? So he had to find an excuse of going to the United States of America. So those are questions. And another important question, which probably Raila himself and Ruto can answer, was Raila Odinga going to the United States of America to meet with Ruto? Because of course, during one of those events, image or video clip of Raila Odinga amongst the audience was actually captured. I can't rule out the possibility that Raila Odinga actually met with William Ruto in the United States of America, and they discussed. That's how politics is played. Because if Raila Odinga is in the country and he were to meet Ruto, it will leak. Or if he were to meet with the handlers, it will leak. Is it possible that all these things were planned? That you go to America, I'm also coming, then we have this event which will be the center of focus, then on the sidelines, then we have our own meetings. I don't want to rule out possibility that Raila Odinga and William Ruto actually met in the United States of America and the two discussed whatever they deemed fit for them to discuss. Time will tell. And the other question, who was Raila Odinga going to meet in the United States of America? Was it Joe Biden? Was it the handlers? And why were these meetings secret? Because Raila Odinga cannot just go to the United States of America accompanied by the two gentlemen. They don't take photos. There's a gentleman there, Ledamo Lekina. He loves photos. Was he under strict instructions not to take photos, not to disclose where they were meeting? Because I know Ledamo Lekina, you know him. He takes photos every day. The moment he left America, he already took photo. He landed into the country, he already took photos. For the first time, Ledamo Lekina was in the United States of America with his very expensive iPhone. Ledamo Olekina never took a photo. So which means they never wanted their location, in my view, to be exposed. So who are they meeting secretly? That's a question which probably, or probably someone will need to answer. Or is there a chance that Raila Odinga was actually failed by his media team? He didn't go with his media team. So he was in some of these meetings, nobody took photos. Because some of these meetings are actually high level. And if they're high level, then it means someone like Ledamo Lekina cannot take photos. But of course, even if they were high level, some of the handlers of the people he met probably could have taken the photos. Was Raila Odinga failed by his media team? And the last question which Kenyans are asking, because Raila Odinga is already back into the country, what was his game plan? Or what is his game plan? What next for him? When he left the country, he had planned a series of meetings. He's back. Are those meetings going to proceed? Or is he going to wait until next year? And what is his game plan for next year? Which takes us to the next stage of this video. What I think Raila Odinga ought to do next year. The first thing he must do is that Raila Odinga must make decisions. He must agree with his team. You know, majority, I normally talk to people, you know, on this channel alone, I get different opinions. People text me when I'm in the streets here. I normally attend Bunge la Wananchi in town here. You know, everywhere people are seeking for my opinion. And I talk to people just to get their opinion. Majority of Raila Odinga supporters were ready. They were ready for that parallel Jamhuri Day celebration. Why was it cancelled? According to opinion, according to most people, it was cancelled because Raila Odinga's camp was divided. There were those who were for it, there were those who were against it. Then Raila Odinga should not accept to find itself in a similar situation again, where he goes ahead to announce a plan when the team is already in disagreement. He should only get out and announce those plans when they have agreed. And he should follow Robert Greene's law number 28, which states that you must enter action with boldness. So if Raila Odinga had announced to his supporters that he was going to organize parallel meeting, then he needs to enter that action with boldness. Otherwise, there was no need of announcing. So for me, I think one of the things Raila Odinga needs to figure out next time is that he must either agree to listen to his handlers and his camp, and then only make announcements when they are ready. Otherwise, his supporters will be psyched up, then he will disappoint them. And if that circle continues, most of them will not take him seriously, I'm sure. Number two, Raila Odinga must now develop a clear communications strategy. What Raila Odinga lacks, in my view, is a clear communication strategy. Like, for example, the statement which they released when they held that Jacaranda rally, the statement which they released was very interesting. Several issues. At the end of the day, people left with several issues. Issues need to be condensed. So, like, Raila Odinga must decide that in 2023, these are what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to achieve them. If I'll not be able to achieve them because of A, B, C, D, these are the options. so that he has a clear communication strategy. If it's about the GMO, then how is he going to deal with it? If it's about cost of living, how is he going to deal with it? If it's about this Hustlers Fund, how is he going to deal with it? If it's about Cherera 4, how is he going to deal with it? If it's about IBC reforms, how is he going to deal with it? That clear communication strategy has been lacking, and therefore Raila Odinga must come up with a clear communication strategy. The third thing Raila Odinga must do in 2023, because we are on 20th, I don't think anybody would, because people are already in holiday, he must revamp his party, ODM party. A strong ODM party is good for Raila Odinga. Just like I've always said, Wiper, Kalonzo must revamp Wiper, Gideon must revamp KANU. All these parties must be strong. If Raila Odinga cannot revamp ODM party, then I don't see him succeeding in his objectives. He must revamp ODM. He must conduct party elections in ODM party. Heads must roll in ODM party, and then he can then now focus on Azimio. Once ODM is revamped, he can then focus on Azimio. Otherwise, focusing on Azimio while ODM as a party is down there would not really help him. And lastly, Raila Odinga must now decide and take charge of Azimio. Because Uhuru Kenyatta is resigning, he must decide, is he going to take charge of Azimio? If he's going to take charge of Azimio, what role will Kalonzo play? What role will Martha Karua play? I'm seeing Eugene Wamalwa also trying things outside there. What role will Eugene Wamalwa play? So he must take charge and allow these other individuals actually to shine. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.